Hey everyone, today is the perfect weather for gardening. It's about, I think, 71 degrees, it is overcast, and it is not at all windy. So that's what we're gonna do today, another garden with me video. I'm gonna take you around and show you what I have to do. Off at the top of my head, I know I have flowers that need to be deadheaded. There are vegetables that need to be harvested, and then I have a few melon plants that need to be sprayed with neem oil. So let's go take a look at the garden. I'll show you what I need to do, and then we will jump right into it. So here's what we're looking like in the garden today. The first thing I know I have to do is deadhead a bunch of sunflowers, maybe a few dahlias. I'll check those as well, but I don't even remember the last time I deadheaded. And there's some that are looking pretty rough. So we'll get rid of those. That way the plant's putting more energy into new blooms. The other things I have to do, so I've been having this issue on all of my melon plants almost. I'm trying to think if there's any that don't have it, but either powdery mildew or some sort of mildew on the leaves. I've already removed the leaves that had it the worst, and then I'm just spraying neem oil on these once a week. So it's time to do that. So I'm gonna spray this one. I still think this melon plant might be a lost cause, but we'll see. I'll still give that a good spray. These aren't as bad, but just spraying them as well. Tomatoes, this is some of what I mentioned that needs to be harvested. There were actually a few that were starting to wrinkle on the vine, so I need to get those off. I'll see if there's any eggplants to harvest. I can already see there's an okra or two that are ready. And then over here I actually have an empty grow bag. So I harvested the rest of the onions out of that bag. See if any of these are ready to harvest. Actually, this one might be good to go. I think these two are still a little bit too stiff in the neck of the garlic. So I'll harvest that as well, put it with the other garlic that I pulled from this bag, and then move this bag over to the section where I'm basically collecting all of the containers that I'm going to use when I'm ready to plant my fall crops, which is really just in a few weeks. I can't believe that I'm already starting to plant things for fall. So let's start off with the deadheading of the flowers. Okay, so I think we're all good with the dahlias and sunflowers. That needed to be deadheaded. I also cleaned up some leaves that were looking a little bit less than fresh. So now it's time to come in here and harvest a bunch of these tomatoes. So this is what I got off of the tomato plant just now. Now we're gonna head over to this onion bag. So you'll know onions are ready to harvest when not just the leaves have fallen over, but the necks on the onions are floppy. So this one right here, we're still pretty stiff. This one pretty stiff, but I think I felt this one, and yep. So see how this just kind of flops over on its side? So that means we have an onion that is ready to go. Not too bad a size. Now coming in here for some eggplant. I'm just realizing how much this plant is flopping over. So the grow bag's actually back there. It's all falling off this side. This one, I think we can stand a little bit longer. This one, I think you are good to go. So I'm just gonna chop you off there. So this is the first year I've actually grown eggplant, and I had no idea how much they produced. I don't think I have any other plant except maybe the cherry tomato that just produces so much. Last thing to harvest in the garden is some okra. So there's one on this plant. I actually have two plants growing in here, which obviously you're not supposed to have them this close together, but I couldn't bring myself to thin the seeds, and they both weren't looking very healthy, so I just left them in there, and they both kept growing. So I think that is gonna stay that way then. So let's just harvest this one, chop that off. Much harder to harvest when you have a camera in one hand. And then we'll check my other plant and see if there's any additional okra that are ready to be harvested. This bag does just have one okra plant in it. You can see some blooms that just fell off recently. I really like the blooms, but they only last a few hours. If I see one in the morning, like once that opens up, it'll be fallen off and dropped on the ground by the afternoon. But I saw one that's ready to go right there, and then another one back there. So I'll go ahead and grab those two. This is everything I just harvested minus the onion. I actually thought there would be more, just based on the fact that I really haven't harvested anything in the last few days. But that's enough to at least have a couple dinners from. The onion is over here with the other onions that I've harvested over the last few days. I'm leaving them outside just for the dirt to dry a little bit, and then I'll wipe the excess dirt off, take them inside into the garage to cure for a few weeks. So the onion's not going to come inside right now, but everything else will. Last on my to-do list for today is to spray the melon plants that look like they might have a bit of powdery mildew. So I'm using this neem oil pre-made spray. I also have neem oil concentrate that you mix with water, but this one's just easier to grab and go. So I'm going to use this on my melon plants, give them a good spray on both the top and the bottoms of the leaves. So this is the bag that had the onions in it that I now moved over here. All of these bags are ready to be planted with fall crops. So since they have soil in them already, I think what I'm going to do before planting is just add in some compost, which I have in a bag right there to kind of freshen it up. And then I'll put my fall plants in these containers. And then I think I have probably a couple more pots that are going to be emptied out within the next couple weeks. And that'll just add to what I can plant up for the next season. So that was everything on my garden to-do list for today. Thank you so much for following me around. Hopefully you found that entertaining, maybe helpful, but I will see you in the next video. Bye.